losing everything?
Oh, I think it's a big gap that can never be filled. It's a gap which is wider as the sea is, and it can never be filled because we miss it all the time. My father used to miss it, my uncle used to miss it, and I have cousins of mine, my uncle's sons in Bristol, and they even offered me to pay my fare to go to Pakistan and show us where the houses was. And I told them that it's no good you going there because they're not there. It's just not even the land is there, and they will build houses there.
You have made a model house which you left in Lahore,
Yes.
in Sangatpura. What made you made that model?
I wanted to show to my children because they never were there, and I wanted to show them what the house looked like and how it was built and where it was built and how much land it had with it and how much we used to enjoy being in there. Although the houses here is different, but that was a house on its own, and I can remember all the nitty gritty about it, what happened there, because at one time a scorpion bit me while I was sitting in at night, and the pain I had here then I only know how much painful it was. So all those little things, and then at one time the kite came from Lahore to was passing, and we used to have this pole to tangle it up with us, and I got up on top of the near the chimney and then slipped and fell down into the way the cows used to be. Fortunately for me, it was just carne and whatever you call them, but and I didn't get hurt. But my mother started beating her chest and saying, "Oh, I've killed him. Oh, he's gone. He's gone." And I ran around and say, "Oh, look, I'm here." So all those things remember it keeps on coming back to your memory, and time goes on.
But have you had same attachment with any other house in UK, in London, anywhere?
No, I mean when we came to Cardiff, my father used to get short leases houses.
So you never built any model for any house which was in UK.
No,
You never thought about this,
no, now that we've been here 20 years
and
in this place.
you never thought about making any model house of this.
No, no.
What's the difference?
I think the childhood attachment carries on attached with you, and because it was different, I my father had 12 houses that I looked after, and used to rent them and collect rent from there. And then one day I told my father, I said, "Look, I'm moving to number four, the where the shop was, because we ran a shop, the first ever shop in Cardiff of Asian commodities."
So you are satisfied with your migration
Yes,
to UK because you are the first Sikh who was the Lord Mayor of Cardiff,
yeah, deputy lord.
Deputy Lord Mayor. So whatever you achieved with this migration, you're satisfied. But whatever you lost because of that migration, you still feel
Yes,
and you still have.
but you see, when I said what I gained and what I lost, it's the grandchildren of mine can't understand Punjabi. You got to speak to them in English. I have grandchildren in Wolverhampton, and they don't watch Indian film until it's got written underneath it, to spell out what they're talking about. And now I experience my grandchildren. You speak to them in Punjabi and they look at you. And then you speak in English and they reply to you. So that's what we lost. We're losing our identity. There was a time when every boy used to get cut hair. Now the trends come back and every young boy now is keeping his turban. And but we have lost our culture. There used to be a binding culture. And now these days is that you marry your son or your daughter and 6 months after she's come home or he doesn't want to keep her. That's what we lost. We haven't got that panchayati rule anymore. They do what they like because they say, I don't care. I don't need you. Because they got the social security on them all. And they don't respect the elders as they did back home. I mean, we used to stand there when my father used to click like that and obey what he wanted to do. The kids here don't do that. And that is what we are losing eventually. The Romani people, they've been here over 1,000 years in Britain and roaming other European land, and their culture has changed. And one time I was trying to listen to their old lady who said we have originated from the land of five rivers. Land of five rivers is only in Punjab. But they have lost their culture, they haven't got a religion, and they just go from road to road and house to wherever. So I'm thinking that our people got lots of money now. They earn a lot of money, save a lot of money, and they're not dependent on each other. Whereas we used to be a panchayat in our Sangatpura, and something happens to the couple, they would all sit together and sort it out. That side as well as that side.
You used to listen to elders. Elders had authority.
Yeah.
over both.
Now they are no longer doing that. You know, we haven't got a organization yet. We did have one for the last 20 years, but it broke down, and the next one is coming. But there is no control of anything, and the new organization is thinking breakdown of marriage, kids, and so on, and marriage itself. Because when we take our son to marry, we got to take the whole area, up to 5 coach full, and nobody thinks about the daughter side. What happens to them? We take 5 coach full, they have to feed us. All right, so he feed us only once, but it's a lot of feed, lot of arguments. So and we try to restrict, saying just take 1 coach, just take your family, and then go there and then come back and do a big huge party. But don't put the gun on the girl's father's shoulder and say I'll use it, shoot it. So that's kind of things.
On page number 8, you have said, now I feel that what I should look back and see what I have gained in my life and what I have lost.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm losing because being the eldest in the family, I've gained lots of things, but I'm also looking at what I'm losing.
And imagine if you was in Sangatpura and I was sitting there interviewing you, and you had all this family in Sangatpura, Lahore.
Yeah, you would have a lot of control like that, you see, but you haven't got a control in not even the family, but in the community. And communities, we came from London, and came. My father wanted to buy a house, and houses at the time in Cathedral Road were being sold for 6,500. And my father said, no, we won't be able to survive there because of our traditions. I want to go and live in a working class area. So he came to Ninian Park Road and bought a house for £1,800.
Have you ever had dream about Sangatpura?
Yes, I mean, it's so secluded. You can't sort of mix it with anything. It's there solidly on its own. What it contained, where it was, how it was.
What do you see in dream when you ever had dream about your birthplace Sangatpura, and what do you see? You've told me about your mother where she used to make parathas
Yeah,
outside,
yeah,
and you've showed me the rooms. You have showed me the place where
yeah,
you used to have your animals and
yeah.
your backyard and everything. What do you see when you see a dream?
Well, you see, this model I made brings back everything. Looking at the model takes me back to Sangatpura all the time, and I now I'm coloring it the way it was color, as to, and it's because at one time on the corner of the house I wrote something, and I had few slaps from my father, and he said, "Go and clean it up." This is something that happened. Remembers,
How
you
was
see.
your feeling when you visited your house in Sangatpura? You tried to visit in 2007?
Yes,
2007. How was your feeling when you went to see your old school?
I my cousin and my wife and his wife wanted to go to Shalmi Darwaja to look at that Anarkali, and I said no, I want to go see my Anarkali. And I caught a rickshaw from there and came to uh, the Canal Park, and started asking. I started asking people, where is this place and where is that place, and they were saying, we don't know, because they were all young people. And he said, then suddenly a boy appeared about 20 on a small motorbike, and he said, Uncle Ji, you come and sit and back on my bike. I'll drive around while you are watching where you should be. And when he came down to my school, I recognized it straight away.
How was
And
your feeling when you saw your
oh,
school?
I said, that's it, stop here, and put me off. And I thanked him and all that. And I went to look at the school. And what they done, they boarded the main roadside and opened the side there. But the school was still there. And from there, I could follow it where I used to walk to.
And you
And
remembered all these
all,
ways.
yes.
And that brought you all the memories you had?
Yes, that was a lot of memory. And then I went on to the street. I said, where is this number 8? And they said, oh, it's no longer number 8, it's number
So
32.
what did you feel?
And it didn't suited me then. But I went down to the canal, and the canal wasn't there. Instead, it was a road, and
So everything was
yeah, it was flattened, and there was a straight road there going towards the Nandipur or the Lahore. But I did go, and in the evening we went to Ichra shopping center and had a look
you had
around.
all those feelings back
Yeah,
because
that was
your mother used to go to Isha and collect
that's
money orders,
yeah.
and you
Yeah,
had
because
relatives.
my mother at the end of the time went down to the post office in Ichra to collect her money order
And
on her
you
own.
had all these sketches and all these ways you remembered
Yeah,
in your head.
yeah. And what I'm still trying to do is to get a plan going of all these houses and put it in that book where it says Canal Park Sangatpura.
Thank you, Mr. Jaswant Singh. That was nice talking. We had short of time, and thank you.
Anyway, thank you for that, and I enjoyed the interview, and I hope you'll do a great job of your.
Thank you. This is our contribution form. This actually allows us to use all this material
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
which I have recorded.
Yeah,
So if you can just put your name,
yeah.
so that
I
way you
haven't
can,
got a pen
yeah,
with me.
this is the pen. So this gives us permission to use all this.
What is it today?
Today is 23rd of June.